Journey from Nigeria to Ghana is just a stroll. So I feel at home here, and I'm happy to speak to today's subject matter. What I would say generally is that, number one, I always say to men like me who get nervous when we are around women, because I have an advantage over many men. I was raised by my great-grandfather. Great-grandmother raised me. So having been raised by my great-grandmother, who handed me over to my grandmother, and then briefly I was raised by my mother when I was already about to leave home. So I understand women, and the way I understand issues around women is just to listen. Try not to have a permanent understanding. Just listen to the latest instruction, and you will not get it wrong. Because a few days ago I was in the church, and they said, lead your wife, lead the women, be the leader, be in front. Then I went to a place yesterday, they said, men should stand behind their women. And today we say we should stand side by side. So, but whatever position you want, I'm about things. Because where I come from, it is impossible to be equal to a woman. Because equality is difficult to achieve. If I make efforts and I spend 20 hours dressing up, I cannot be equal to my wife in beauty. And what roles do women play? Every woman is a member of society, is a mother when they have children, is a daughter obviously, and is a sister, and is a worker. So the story of women should not be too simplistic. And in our belief, where I come from, a mother is one of the deity. A mother is a god. A mother is a goddess. So if you can pray to your mother, and the prayers will be answered. But I have never heard anywhere where they say you pray to your father. I said, Father in heaven. So I want us to understand that all over societies all over the world, are struggling with these definitions. And definitions also have to do with time. In the Western world, where some of the latest lexicon is coming from, they are talking from their experience in the industrial age, where men will go to the factories and women will stay at home. And over the years, the labor laws will not recognize any work done outside the factory as work. Because they define labor, and they define how much you pay per hour, and all of that. But nobody will pay you for breastfeeding. Nobody will pay you for making the home conducive. And over time, they started struggling with how do they count their productivity, especially for macroeconomists who like to work on what amounts to GDP. And to make it easy in economics, anything that does not count in GDP is not seen as productivity. So that is why GDP is not a measure of anything sensible. Because the country with the highest GDP may have a lot of poverty in it, may not have sustainability in it. So if you look at China 10 years ago, in sustainability they will get zero, because they were polluting the environment even though they were making more money. But everybody is learning now. What I want to let us understand is that the language we speak in discussing challenges in Africa, they are borrowed languages. And this borrowed language comes with borrowed money and comes with borrowed ideas. And if we are not making progress, we need to understand that we should maybe reduce. If you cannot reduce borrowing money immediately, reduce borrowing ideas. We need to cooperate as a society, because a society that is not doing well overall, that has poverty overall, poor infrastructure overall, has no luxury for gender fight. And those who are looking for how to duplicate keys or break doors, let me tell you one secret. If you are looking for my key, look at the pocket of the woman next to me. Yeah, yeah. And I've been a family man for over 20 years. I don't know where the key to my room is. When I come back from work, I stand by the door. Is she inside? They say, no. Where is she? I wait until they come and open the door. So sometimes what you are looking for is actually in your hand. But another thing I would say, generally speaking, I don't know, but I know about Ghana and Nigeria. Every man who goes out to work is trying to impress his mother, his sister, then more particularly his girlfriend, and eventually his wife. So who we are working for, sometimes you should understand that you're already our employer. And if your boss is competing with you, you cannot win. What I want us to understand is that the world is changing, and labor, I thank the Honorable Minister for bringing this idea of women in labor. Of course, it can confuse our sister. They'll start going to the maternity ward. That woman in labor means the woman who's in labor room. But what it means basically is that we should recognize the effort that the women in our life put in our life. And whether the work is done at home or is done in our traditional, popular workplaces, that we should show appreciation. But appreciation is not just by word of mouth. We should also show encouragement. And like the story that the Minister for Sustainability gave, about sometimes when you are playing a role which your gender is not familiar with or is not expected to play, you will see that you get a bit concerned that maybe you will make mistakes. Sometimes you do make mistakes. And I can tell you, I am the president of a finance group, and we started out in East Africa. And the first person we chose to head our financial institution was a lady. And I don't believe in, before you recall your applause, let me just tell the story. The first thing we discovered was that our money disappeared. And we started seeing this sister in shopping mall in Dubai, in all those places. And we were analyzing it. And from the analysis, I got a lot of insight about how people think. Some immediately thought, it's a woman problem. What do you expect? You put a young lady in charge of millions of dollars, what do you expect to come out of it? Some gave a more nuanced answer, some gave a more data-backed analysis as to why, some looked at control system. But the only way we were able to demonstrate whether it was a gender problem or not was that we put another woman. So after all the police investigation, or in the proto-industrial age, when women, I see in some countries, I've been to Vietnam and many places where I do this for the factory. Let's do this for the community. Let's do this for the church. Let's do this for the mosque. Women would cooperate. But a lot of those women whom we put on the factory floor just sewing clothes, they guaranteed to succeed, and we make women participation to be a basic norm that nobody will hold conferences about anymore. And they are one in against women. Let's get our law right. When I started practicing law as a lawyer in Nigeria, they will tell you, do not bring a woman as a guarantor. Is that the donor community is going through crisis. As a lawyer, when I was graduating from college, was on the WTO when they set it up. And the argument we had made that, and if everybody can trade with us, we will have a serious problem developing competitive industries. But the global agreement was that we were wrong. The Koreans and all of them are beginning to catch up. So with a sustainable plan, we can start with a modest contribution to that program, because if it's sustainable, it means that we can support with $1 million. Thank you very much. So in conclusion, I want across the continent, just like all the ideas of our leader, Osayefo, Kwame Nkrumah, which started in Ghana, is that spirit now that has come into Nana, and that spirit is that in Africa, we are one.
Wow.
One of the reasons why we're here is to launch the Women in Sustainability Africa.
Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click on the bell for more updates.